We're on King Street in Westhoughton and we're walking towards number 51 on King Street. Hi there, we are outside number 51 King Street in Westhoughton, and behind me there, that was the birthplace of Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw was born on the 9th of August 1927, and he was born in that house there to Thomas Archibald Shaw, who was a doctor, and his wife Dorren. He didn't live there for very long because Dr Thomas Shaw was working as assistant under Dr Hatton, and Dr Hatton passed away in 1927 in July, and Thomas Archibald Shaw, who was the assistant, as I said, to Dr Hatton, they moved to the doctor's surgery, which was on Bolton Road in Oakley House. But yeah, so Robert Shaw was born there in that house right there on August 9th 1927, and I'm going to be walking around Westhoughton and just pointing to a few places associated with Robert Shaw. Like I mentioned, Oakley House, where he moved with Robert, Dorren, and back in 1927. That would have been in August in 1927. But yeah, so let's walk around Westhoughton and look at a few places. I'll just take you around the front because there's a park out the front there, a blue park, which mentions Jaws. So as it would, because that's the obviously one of his biggest roles as Robert Shaw, playing the shark fisherman Quint. We're on Bolton Road, walking towards Oakley House. So we moved up from 51 King Street, where Robert Shaw was born on August 9th, 1927. And behind me there, that is the second residence where he moved with his father, Dr Thomas Shaw. Dorren and Robert himself moved there in August of 1927, shortly after Dr Hatton's death. Now, Dr Hatton died, as I said, while he was on holiday in 1927 in July. But Dr Hatton was the doctor that was spoke at the inquest with the Pretoria mining disaster, where 344 men, boys, lost their lives in 1910, I believe. I'm not too sure. There's a memorial to it in the graveyard in Westhoughton itself. You should visit if you ever come here and look at that, because that was a big mining disaster, as I said, early 20th century. But Dr Hatton was a bit of a character himself. He used to advertise cigars for the Daily Express newspaper, and he was a larger than life character in town. But as Dr Thomas Archibald Shaw moved here with his son Robert went to school there. That was the White Horse School, so that was right opposite where he used to live with his family. And he used to perform at the front of the house there, play swords and knights and things with other kids, and you can read about it online and newspaper reports from people that went to school here, the headmistress and other people at school here talked about Robert Shaw, his days when he went to school there. But as we know, he was only here for a short period of time, because 1930, he moved at the age of 7 with his parents. So that would have been, he would have been 1933, around that time. They moved away from here and went to the Orkney Islands. So yeah, so a short period. But it did resonate with Robert, because he used to remember the mill girls walking by here with their clogs on and talk about the way they sung, and he could hear songs. And when he wrote his book, The Flag, he mentioned Houghton in that, which is Westhoughton, because as we know, Robert used to write himself into books. He's in The Sun Doctor, and also in The Flag. He wrote himself into those books as characters. But yes, we're moved from here and we're going into town, because there's a plaque for Robert Shaw in town, and obviously the pub. But oh, one more thing. There used to be a train carriage in the back of this building where Robert used to play as a young child. And when he revisited this place in 1960, it was still there in the apple orchard, but it's gone now. But the house is still standing, and at the front of the house there's a step, and on that step it says surgery. So that's a nice little reminder of that. Used to be the doctor's surgery for Dr Hatton and his assistant Thomas Shaw, and as I said, Thomas Shaw took over as the main doctor in Westhoughton after Dr Hatton's death. So we're walking along Market Street in Westhoughton, and we're walking towards the town hall and the library. Now, as I visit Oakley House, I forgot to mention Thomas Shaw's sporting prowess, because he played for Bolton Rugby Union, Dr Thomas Shaw, when he was a doctor in Westhoughton, and his son Robert obviously would have seen him play rugby as a young boy. And Robert used to talk about his father and his boxing prowess when he was at Guy Hospital. I think he won a trophy there. But yeah, Robert was very competitive, but also as a sportsman, as you know. But here we go, we're going to cross the road on Market Street, Westhoughton, and there is a plaque on the wall here to Robert Shaw. There you go. And as you know, Robert Shaw, the actor, was also a playwright, author of several novels, The Flag, The Hiding Place, Man in the Glass Booth, The Sun Doctor, which he won an award for, and also a playwright. The Man in the Glass Booth was made into a play that was performed in the West End actually, and he also wrote Cato Street. And obviously the dialogue in Jaws, after speech, he also edited that to get it down from several pages it was before into less. So he was an accomplished playwright and author in his own right, as well as a great actor, a good actor or a great actor. So from here we're going to walk down to the Robert Shaw pub, and that'll be the last place we visit in Westhoughton. But there you go, that's the plaque to Robert Shaw just there. Yeah, and now we're going to walk towards the pub along Market Street. Okay, we're walking towards the Robert Shaw in Westhoughton, the Robert Shaw pub, and I want to clarify something I said outside the library in the town hall about Robert Shaw being a great actor or a good actor. Now, in an interview he did for Omnibus, people said to him he was the greatest actor, and he said, I'm not. And that's all I want to say there. I think he was a great actor, but he did sort of say he wasn't in that interview. But and I forgot to mention The Card from Morocco also, which was his last book. But there you go, behind me there, that is the Robert Shaw pub.